Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's good to see you. We have a Super Bowl to talk about.
We have a Super Bowl. I will not be here for the next 2 weeks, so this is like my.
Where are you going?
I'm going off to the homeland, going off to Israel.
Round two.
Round two. I have all my bets set. It's been a stressful week. I've been digging on every single sports book online, trying to find really, really good props. I have a lot of good props. I have to make kind of all my props have to be 4-1 or better for me to win this contest. So I have a lot of props that are more unlikely to happen, but great odds if you want.
Basically, for people who are not in the contest, most of our listeners, you're starting basically in the negative. It's like if you're starting Super Bowl week negative, because you have ground to make up to catch up to people like
a little bit
like me, right?
Yeah, but it's like you could play it safe, but the safe bets probably won't win. Like somebody's won before on the first song of the Super Bowl or stuff like that. So
that's insider trading. Someone's going to know Rihanna's set list if they do that.
I'm definitely betting that this year. So I have a bet that I can't talk about, but I do have a bet.
You got your Hollywood friends. Listen, I'm happy for you and I'm mad at you. Both things can be true at once. One is you're taking advantage of these awful 10 days between now and the Super Bowl where there's very little sports going on. And you're leaving the country, which is so smart. And I'm so happy you're doing that. But I'm mad at you because last time you went to Israel, I went with you. Yeah. And this time you're going to Israel without me. And I feel like you're leaving me out of this one.
I know. You know, it's been almost 13. It's like, what, 13 years?
A bar mitzvah length. Perfect.
Yeah, it's been a really long time. So yeah, I'm going back with a new group of people. Should be good. A lot of pressure. This group, it's like an organized group. And they're literally saying these are going to be your best friends when you get back from Israel. So a lot of pressure.
Again, I'm being replaced.
Yeah, it seems
like replacing me.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of pressure. So I'm going in kind of, okay, let's see what goes on here. Cause I feel like that's very forced. Oh, we're all going to be friends. What if I don't want to be? So we'll see how it goes.
Especially, we went originally when we were 20, 21 years old. We're talking to everybody. We're friendly with everyone. We just want everyone around us. We're just a little bit more set in our ways in our mid-30s, just slightly, I would say.
Just a little older. And they're all couples. So it's like if one half of the couple doesn't like you, how are you going to be friends with the one person? So it is a weird kind of I guess that's also weird because you never really make friends as couples, right? You usually have your friends, you bring them together. Maybe they
one at a time.
Yeah. It's never like, oh, we're meeting a couple together. So it's a whole different scenario here.
Well, I'm excited to hear about all the Jewish cliques you all form and all the different groups. It'll be like the high school cafeteria, but for Jews in Israel. So we're excited to hear more about that. Someone else who's being replaced is the Bucs quarterback, the greatest of all time. A surprise announcement, 1 year anniversary since he last retired on February 1st, yet again. As a WNBA player said today, stop messing with WNBA free agency day, which apparently is February 1st every year. And they're getting mad about that. That just stood out to me. But anyway, Brady posted a video on the beach in Florida this morning. He said he woke up and decided to retire, although Schefter already said he recorded the video days ago. So we know he's lying again.
And there's merch already out and everything.
Of course. Yeah. Where do you stand on the whole Brady retirement 2.0?
Listen, he had a rough year. You clearly could tell things are going on. I think it's fine. Let the guy retire. I don't know why people are mad at him for like having a terrible season. I know it was a bad season with the Bucs. I think it's fine. Let the man retire. He's going to be on Fox. I'm curious to see where he goes next with who's he going to kick out? Is he going to kick out Olsen? Is he going to kick out?
Olsen's been doing a great job. And I know you and our mutual friend don't necessarily agree with that, but a lot of people do. If you're reading the internet, people like Greg Olsen and they're not excited for Brady to kick him out.
Well, I'm excited for Brady to see what he does next. I've never really, like we've seen him maybe on like Peyton Manning, the Manning cast or whatever. He doesn't seem like he's made for TV. Yeah. Romo seems kind of fun. He's made for TV. I don't know if this is the career that he's going to go to. He definitely needs to make money. He lost a lot of money in that FTX scandal, probably like $500 million or more. So I'm curious. I think it's fine. The man's old. Like, why are people mad that he's retiring again? Like, he's fucking old. Like, let him go.
he really reinvented the system when he's 45 years old and we're surprised and mad that he's retiring. Like in any other way, 45 is like the best bar ever to clear. And yet he did it. And we're all like, wait, this is happening. He's not playing for the Raiders next year, which just means that he set the bar so high. And obviously had a rough year. And we talked about a few weeks ago on the show how he's really at rock bottom now, which is you don't want to go out on rock bottom. But I also see like he needs to piece his life together again. He needs to figure his shit out because this season, physically, he looked awful throughout the season, right? He lost the weight. He looked unhealthy and sick, and we know the mental trauma he's been through. So it seems like he needs to piece his life together more so than play for the Raiders and go 8-9 next year like he did for the Bucs.
But it's also, you got to think about it, like going out on top is harder than going out on the bottom, because when you're at the bottom, you already know things have gone terrible. When you're going,
but he's never been at the bottom until now. That's the weird thing. Like he had so many chances to go out on top, and he didn't.
But I think ultimately when you're going out on top, like what Brett Favre didn't go out on top. Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem like he's going to go out on top. You have that drive in you that you think you can still compete when you really can't. And I think it's hard. It's hard to make that decision when you're like, I'm the king of the world here. I'm doing great. Why would I leave? And I think it's almost like when you're playing at the casino, when you're winning money. It's like,
hard to walk away.
It's really hard to walk away when you're still making a lot of money. Then you start seeing it like, I'm not, my bankroll is kind of gone now. And you're like, I should probably quit. So it's tough. I get it. I wouldn't leave.
That's actually a good comparison. So we don't know what he's going to do next. I don't know if he's going straight to Fox. I think he needs to piece his life together. We're going to have to be prepared for next season, like throughout the year. If there's a quarterback injury, like, oh, are they going to call Brady? Like if the Raiders are struggling or someone gets hurt, we're going to have to be prepared for this if he doesn't announce his comeback before then. I'm just saying.
Do you think he's going to announce his comeback? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying we need to be on Brady watch all next year, that he might not actually be done because he wasn't actually done this year. He's going to be in good shape. We just need to be on Brady watch. The other thing that popped up today was Brady retiring this year means Aaron Rodgers won't retire this year because Aaron Rodgers is not going to go into the Hall of Fame with Brady and like be second fiddle to Brady on that whole enshrinement, the Hall of Fame game, all of that. So it tells me Aaron Rodgers is playing one more year.
So Aaron Rodgers is going to play another year. He's going somewhere, probably not going to be in Green Bay. We have a long summer to talk about it, but I'm curious. I'm excited to make some future bets after the Super Bowl. That's when you make all the bets before all the quarterbacks move. And you get some good odds on it. So,
well, Derek Carr has to move within 3 days of the Super Bowl. So he's the first domino to fall, and that should kick off the offseason. That's like the out in his contract.
Do you think that's going to move any lines for the future at all? Because I don't think that's going to move anything.
Like it might lower some teams' odds. Yeah. It might lower them. I want to get to your favorite story of the week, though, because I know you're excited to talk about this. And Tom Brady might be a factor in the story. I don't know where you're going to take us.
Yeah.
So why don't you kick this one off?
Okay, so over on the internet, on TikTok and Instagram, if you follow anything, Jeffree Star secretly has hooked up with a lot of celebrities, and he or she, I'm not really sure how to describe. I think it's a she, and she goes around and hooks up with her.
I thought he was a he.
Well, he's a guy, but I think identifies as a woman.
Okay,
so dresses up. And, going out there, dating all these guys that are celebrities, like high profile, like people in their phone book. I've seen interviews with Jeffree Star talking about, other guys he's hooked up with and stuff like that are celebrities that aren't out and just all over the internet. So
does he name names though? Or do we ever know who it is? Is it always a mystery? Like right now,
it's always a mystery. We never know because I think you don't want this to come out if you're high profile, but it seems like now it's almost like a tease. So Jeffree Star recently posted on Instagram saying, or TikTok, wherever you want to see it, off to Montana with my boo. And you see his legs. You don't see anything else. You see both their legs on a private jet flying to Montana. Then yesterday, post a video with the guy, the unknown man, turned to the camera. And the internet is going wild. The internet has been on high alert, searching, calling out people, other NFL players, like, where are you? Send me a picture of you at home right now with your wife. I do not believe you. They're identifying by like the earlobe, how it indents in, the hair on the back, the jacket. Oh, it's orange. Oh, maybe it's a Denver player. All this crazy stuff. So I'm loving it. My feed on TikTok is full of Jeffree Star research, everybody going through that. There's been some ideas, it could be Tom Brady. Clearly not Tom Brady, but maybe because he pre-recorded a video.
We saw the back of the person's head. So it's an
Yes.
NFL player that Jeffree Star is claiming to be having sex with in Montana or Wyoming.
Yes.
Maybe it is right now, right after the NFL playoffs ended. 6'6" of sex or something like that is what Jeffrey posted. So we know the player is 6'6". We know it's a white player. We know the player has hair because we saw the back of his hair and we saw the back of their ears. And that's really all we saw. I think there's like 50 NFL players who are white and who are 6'6", who it could be. Is that correct?
So the research that has been dug up, there are 55 white players, 6'6", under 300 pounds. Now you could go less than that, but you go about 300. You never know. Muscle weighs a little more, but clearly this man is not 300 pounds. So there's 55 white players out there. Now, a lot of people have been identifying other random players, but I think it's come down to a conclusive, it's not 100%.
Whoa. Are you breaking news?
I'm not breaking news, but what I've seen so far, I think it is a Bucks player, and it's what's his name? Carl
Nassib.
Yeah, Carl Nassib, which could make sense.
That's what you would think.
Because he recently came out as gay, one of the first, gay players in the NFL, and this could be that guy. So that's what.
Yes. However, there is a theory with him, and because he is the only openly gay NFL player, so at first you would think of him, and it does look like him. His legs in the picture on the plane,
the hair,
back of his head. He's kind of skinny but tall, and he's a D end, so that all makes sense. But he recently posted pictures with his new boyfriend, who is a Olympic swimmer, I think from Denmark or something. And I was just at the Bucks playoff game a few weeks ago, and they're very happy on Instagram together. And that's a red flag on if it's Carl Nassib.
Well, that's where a lot of it's pointing to. So there's been still a lot of other research. And listen, if you just go in and type some videos, there's going to be plenty of discovery and plenty of deep dives on what's going on. I love it. I think it's one of the best things that's happened to the internet in the last few days. People are like the best detectives. They like zoom in on the earlobe. And they're like, okay, I'm going to match this up with other earlobes back here. And then they match the frame. It is
You're
wild.
right. And it's very risky for the NFL player if they don't want to be identified to be in this many pictures so far, because I feel like we are getting closer to a conclusion and it might actually be proven. And I hope the player is okay with that. And if it's Carl Nassib, he probably is because he's openly gay, but any other player might not be okay with that because we don't know of another gay player in the NFL.
You got to know. They know that
we assume
that Jeffrey is taking photos of what's happening, because there's no fucking way. Like, the guy must be blowing up on the internet. Like, what is happening? He must be loving. I mean, they must be having a lot of fun with it, right?
They're having a lot of fun in Wyoming, that's for sure. A few things that I want to implicate myself in not being involved in. One, never heard of Jeffery Star in my life.
Really?
Two, I don't trust that Jeffery Star is actually doing this with an NFL player and might be wanting attention for Jeffery Star, him or herself, by making all this up and posting the Easter eggs and the pictures. We're talking about Jeffery Star on a sports podcast, and that's a long way from Jeffery Star's normal domain. And so if that's the case, it's working for Jeffery Star. So I'll say that. And third, I'm going to say it's not Carl Nassib, and if it is a real NFL player, it's someone different. A few ideas I have.
Okay, give them.
And this is tinfoil hat type stuff, inspired by Barstool. One is Tom Brady. Of course, we know the video was taken previous to today. Yep. We know he's retired now. We know his wife left him. We know he's been going through a lot. Maybe Tom Brady turned out to be gay this year. We don't know.
It's not too far off. Divorced from his wife, maybe flying out there to take a little break. I could definitely see it now. But the hair, do you think it's too? His hair seems too full to be. Full. And he's not
maybe a younger player.
But but this guy is like the frame
thick. Yeah, a little
big,
thicker.
Big guy. Yeah.
There's another quarterback.
Wait, is Tom Brady 6'6"?
I think he's like 6'4".
Okay.
So the player doesn't have to be 6'6". I'm expanding the search to 6'5" and 6'7" players because I'm not convinced it has to be 6'6". It could be ballpark 6'6". And I did find a quarterback, Mike, a big name quarterback who's 6'5", who might actually be 6'6" in real life, who recently lost in the playoffs, who played college football in the state that they're currently in.
Okay.
Have you heard the name Josh Allen associated with this?
Josh Allen? Yeah, I haven't seen that. He doesn't look like a Josh Allen, though. Do you think it looks like?
I think he kind of. I thought he could be Josh Allen.
I wish I could. Hold on. Should I pull up? I'm gonna pull up Jeffery Star with.
It is an audio podcast.
I know, but if people are watching us online,
right, we do have a lot of live viewers right now, so we should pull that up for them. I'm just saying that Jeffery Star, I've never heard of him before, and we're talking about him on a podcast, so I think it could be all fabricated.
I mean, yeah, it could 100% be fabricated, but I do think that there is something to it, and I don't know. I'm really thinking something's going on, and I want to know what. And I'm really into it, and I'm following along, and I'm trying to figure it all out. And hold on, I'm trying to get my screen up. It's not working. No, I can't share the screen. But go look online, type in Jeffery Star NFL, and you'll find it. All right, we got to get into some bets.
Before we get into bets. Yeah. Can we just tease that for another minute? I have a few things I want to touch on from last weekend. A few rapid fires. One, we need a rule where the NFL requires 3 active quarterbacks for playoff games. Because what me and you
we didn't talk about that. It was terrible.
In your living room on Sunday for the NFC Championship game was a debacle. And it would only be worse if we were Niners fans who paid to go to Philadelphia for the game. Because what we all witnessed was we all got hyped for a huge game. And it was over in the first quarter because of the injuries. And it was over because they didn't have someone who could throw the ball. And, of course, we now know Brock Purdy had a more serious injury than we thought. I was like, why doesn't this guy just try to throw it and at least prove that he's throwing ducks? But Shanahan must have known, so he couldn't have thrown it. Why is there not a rule that requires 3 quarterbacks? It's not crazy in this concussion age where we're so careful with concussions and hits to the head that you're going to lose 2 guys. That's not crazy.
I mean, it was crazy when we were seeing them, like, put on Christian McCaffrey with a mic'd helmet and he's going to go quarterback the team. It was upsetting because we thought this game was going to be epic, like back and forth scores, everything like this. Within the first 2 minutes, there was like the coach didn't challenge the catch. It should have been a 4th down, not a 1st down. The elbow
that was
thing.
4th down. It could have reversed right there.
Yeah. So it's just like all this stuff happened within the first few minutes. And then we sat there for another 2 hours and we're just kind of like, this sucked the entire time. The game was terrible. And
why didn't the Niners go to Wildcat? Why didn't McCaffrey ever take a direct snap? That's kind of crazy too, that they didn't have that package ready.
I don't think they have that. I don't think it was part of the game.
That's bad coaching. I'm sorry.
But is it bad coaching though, when 2 quarterbacks go down and then you're like, oh shit, I have to usually one quarterback will go down. Not usually, but like you can assume one goes down. We got this backup. Backup was terrible. It got concussed, and then it was like you're fucked. There's nothing else you can do. So I don't know. I hated the game. I bet so much on it, and it was terrible.
Mike, I won money on it, and I hated it because I can't come here on the Sports Hangover and bang the table and say I was right that Brock Purdy was going to struggle in Philly and the Eagles cover and they're going to Super Bowl, because all those things happen. But I don't feel good saying it because the game was over in the first quarter because he got hit on his poor little UCL. I think you also have a torn UCL. Is that correct?
Oh, I'm going to get physical therapy and an MRI when I get back from the trip. I still can't do certain things with my elbow. So if it's the same thing, I feel his pain because I can't really do much.
You might be out 6 months. You might not be able to pod for 6 months. We'll see. Another thing, referees way too involved. Listen, the NFL got it right in the first 2 weekends of the year. They were calling stuff in. It's like just they were like FaceTiming refs, like, hey, fix this, change this. They're texting updates in, and refs were like doing it in real time. They called it. They were getting calls or the Hawkeye system, whatever. Last week, both games, the Bengals and the Niners specifically, were both penalized so much more. I know it was a late hit on Mahomes. I get it. There was like 9 plays leading up to that didn't seem like real penalties, and the Bengals got flagged for every single one of them. That Mahomes scramble, there's at least 2 holding calls on that weren't called. On the punt return from Sky Moore to set them up for that, there's at least 2 or 3 blocks in the back that were never called, but every single call went against the Bengals. Yeah. And again, I had money on the Chiefs. I'm okay with the outcome, and I'm still here to tell you the truth, is that the refs need to get their shit together before the Super Bowl. If it's anything like last weekend, that's going to be a big problem.
Well, they say the ref that's going to be reffing the Super Bowl on average throws about 12 flags a game. That's a lot of flags.
That's a lot.
I don't know if there's anything they can do. I don't know what the conversations are. Do you get more lenient? But then how lenient do you get? Because it's hard, because if somebody's like, okay, offsides, that makes sense. You can see clearly offside. But some of those holding calls, like on the offensive linemen, they don't even seem like hold. It's just like a slight push this way. Like they have to let some of it go. And I think that's the biggest problem. They don't know where to kind of give a little on certain things, but we want gameplay. We want things happening. I hate pass interference calls because it feels too easy. If you're just throwing if you know the refs are going to do that, I'd be throwing that ball up every minute I could get just to get the pass interference. Kind of like in Madden, which you got to get better at. Jeremy's not very good at Madden.
Mike plays every day. I don't know in the game.
A lot of Madden.
My clock management was off. I'm getting rusty. Yeah. A few more things before we get to Super Bowl preview. What are the Broncos doing? This is a scandal city for you, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
They zeroed in on DeMeco Ryans to hire him as head coach. Mm-hmm. And then after Jim Harbaugh said, I don't want to be your head coach, they flew to Michigan to try to convince Jim Harbaugh to be their head coach. And then they said, okay, Ryans isn't coming and Harbaugh isn't coming. We're going to negotiate the Sean Payton deal. It wasn't done there. They negotiated the Sean Payton deal, and they still tried to hire DeMeco Ryans yesterday before the Sean Payton deal was finalized. They find out DeMeco Ryans is going to the Texans, and they finalize the deal for Sean Payton, and they give up more draft picks. This is a team that has no draft picks because Seattle owns all of them. I don't like it for Denver. I don't think it's good for Sean Payton to go cook with Russ. I don't like anything that happened here with this coaching search.
I did find it weird because you saw all those things like, oh, they're trying to get all these other. Why wasn't Sean Payton number one? Like, they were already willing, or maybe Denver was the only one willing to deal because it seemed too easy for Sean Payton to just come there, right? It seemed like, oh, you're our third choice. Like,
I mean, that's a lot. I think a first and a third. Like, that's the price of quarterbacks sometimes. Yeah. That's the price of playmakers. And you still have to pay Sean Payton on top of that. They're paying Sean Payton $17 or $20 million a year, which is more than most head coaches make. That's like Amazon money, right? That's like the Herb Street money from Amazon that we talk about. I don't get it. You gave up a lot of picks and you got to pay him.
I don't understand what they're doing because Russ clearly wasn't good. And I don't know if the coach, you needed an elite coach. Do you think you can actually fix Russ? Russ is not cooked in a long time. He's not going to be cooking with Sean Payton.
No,
I don't know where. I don't know why Sean, like I saw a Herd clip. They were like showing old Herd clips with him and Sean Payton talking. And he's like, oh yeah, like there's some things you could do, like get him off here, do all this stuff. So like maybe he's got a plan, but I think ultimately the new Denver owners, which I don't know who they are, seem to have very deep pockets. They'll get whoever they want. They'll give up whatever they want. And it doesn't matter as long as they can get a winning season. It's a hard conference to be in. And I don't know I don't know who's going to be the quarterback of the Raiders, but it is still a pretty hard. You got Kansas City, you have the Raiders, and you have the Chargers, all relatively good teams.
Look across the AFC. We also have Mahomes and Burrow and Allen. The AFC is so loaded. I'm obviously a Dolphins fan, and I don't know how the Dolphins will ever succeed in the AFC because it's so stacked. And Burrow and Mahomes put on a show every year in the playoffs, and Josh Allen's right behind them. I would love to get your boy, Pete Carroll, in a room and ask him one question. What do you know about Russell Wilson that Sean Payton doesn't? Because Pete Carroll ran that man out of town, and Sean is coming in to work. Like, he's choosing to work with him, which is crazy. And these are two legendary coaches. I don't get it.
Yeah, it is weird because, like, now Pete Carroll could have done it for salary cap reasons. He knew that maybe he could get a little better, but yeah, it would be a scary situation going in there to something that is possibly damaged, and you spent a lot of fucking money on it, and he's going to be there for the next 4 years. So,
by the way, I don't know. Yeah, you mentioned the Broncos ownership. They are heirs to the Walmart throne. It is the Walmart family. They're so rich. But you know what? We have friends in Denver, some listeners to the podcast in Denver. That's the problem. They're going to pay Sean Payton $20 million. They're going to raise season ticket prices. They're going to raise prices to get in. They're going to make the beers cost $20 instead of $18. Just
like LA.
So the Walmart heirs, so the folks with $7 billion a year coming into them can just live their lavish lifestyle. The economics of pro sports piss me off so much that it's amazing. I've been a supporter of pro sports my whole life.
Tell me that, because I always see it like, okay, you buy a team for $2 billion. How much money do they make a year from the games and TV deal? They're paying for the TV deals, right? The teams that pay to be on Fox, right? The NFL?
The NFL makes the deal and they pay the teams in return for the money that comes in because it's billions of dollars coming in from every network. I just think they all buy teams to turn a profit. So they buy it as a business decision, like any other business decision. So they're turning a profit. So how do you turn a profit on something that big when you're paying your coach $20 million and your quarterback who's bad $25 million? Well, you charge $20 for beer. So people like our poor lawyer friend can overpay and not go out the rest of the week because he has to go to one Broncos game.
Half of it is no one wants to go to the games. Like, do you really enjoy going to, like, you went to the stadium, you went to SoFi out here.
Like, I loved it, but it's hella expensive. And if I had a family with 2 kids and a wife, they wouldn't be going because I wouldn't be bringing them because it's so expensive. And that's the problem.
Yeah, it's just wild. So, all right, well, we'll see what happens.
Super Bowl in Arizona. You will be flying back for the game. We have a Super Bowl party here in LA. Anyone's invited. I'll give you the address if you just reach out.
Give it out. I spent Sunday night, Monday morning, just going over any props I could find, screenshotting good lines, just trying to get everything. I really need a long shot. We're in this contest, but also I'm trying to bet some of these too. Me and our mutual friend, we have a joint gambling account, like a joint checking account, but we just gamble on a sports book together.
It's really doing well.
It's kind of in the dumps right now, so we're really trying to get it, dig it back. We win some stuff during the Super Bowl. I have a ton of props to go over. I'm going to go over some. I won't go over to all of them. You are competing against me, so I have to disclose. And
I think it's more accurate to say you're competing against me. You're not really on my radar in this situation. I'm in second place in the contest. You're in maybe 8th place. I don't know if that's correct. I'm just saying I'm not worried about who's below me. I'm worried about who's above. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Very cocky going into it. Okay. Yeah. First touchdowns, those are fun. And I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of those. I won it last week.
You hit it, Kelsey. It turned out to be a second quarter touchdown. I didn't see that come in.
Didn't see that coming either. This one's tough. You almost want to bet both sides. You want to bet one Philly, one Kansas City, because you don't know who's going to win the coin toss. By the way, the coin toss plus 100. Really good odds for a 50-50 shot.
No VIG.
Nope. Plus 100. Put $1,000 on that. You hit it. You're up right away, which I'm tempted, but I don't have enough. That's not enough for me. But personally, I will be betting the coin toss. I'm going tails.
Okay. Good to know.
So first touchdown, if you want to get some money, I like Goddard. I tried getting him last week. He didn't score anything. I think
you're gonna do Goddard again.
I'm gonna do Goddard again. I think the tight ends are a big kind of play in the game. I think it's going to be a little more action in this game. I think it's going to be higher scoring. I'm also doing Patrick Mahomes over passing yards, which I got early in the week, but currently it is way higher than what I got it at. I bet it at 287. So right now the over current line is 297, I think. So
it's getting really high. That offense was not moving the ball that well in the second half, especially as his receivers got hurt. I mean, Mahomes to Kelsey, but who else does he have? I think they were really missing Tyreek in that game.
I'm just hoping that Mahomes is healthier, getting people out there. I think he'll be running a little bit, scrambling a little bit. I think it's going to be a big game. So I'm going high volume points. That's where I'm predicting the game to go.
Wow.
I have my first song by Rihanna. I got it written down here. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Oh, you're not going to tell
I can't tell you what it is because the odds are good and I'm going to be betting very heavy on this first one.
So let's dive into this. Why are you going to be betting heavy? What gives you the confidence?
I saw, so basically I watched like a 10-minute video and this guy broke down everything possible and dug deep. And this guy convinced me of what song it was going to be. And I'm going with that song. Now there's two possibilities, but the other possibility, not even up on the board. So I'm going with the only other one. Wow. And I'm pretty confident that it's going to hit. Now I could put all my money on there and get into the money. But I don't know if I want to put it all on the halftime.
It's very ballsy based on a 10-minute TikTok that you watch. This is going deep.
This is going deep, but I gotta shoot for the moon. We're in that contest. If you're just trying to win money, I think this is a great bet. Throw $100 on it. You could get $500-$800 from picking the first song. Do a little research.
I can do 16 $100 bets, so I can do so many of those.
Well,
not really, because you can only do 8. So I can do 8 $200 bets in this case. I have too much money. Sorry,
too much money. And then I started getting into what are even better odds? Where do you want to get wild? Now we were talking to one of our friends' husbands at my birthday party where we were just drinking coffee, hanging out, and he was betting on the most ridiculous things. Right?
He bet a 4-leg parlay. Yeah.
4-leg parlay. You had to get a field goal attempt by each team every half. So 4 field goals together, put a lot of money on it. Now those were great odds. I think it was like 11-1 or something like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing exact score of the game. It's 80. I think it's plus 8,000. So 80-1 odds.
Wow. How many of those are you doing?
I have different strategies. I might be doing multiple. I might do 8 of these because one $50 bet will get me to about $5,000.
It'll hit. If one of those scores hits, you basically get first place.
How depressed would I be if none of them hit? That's the problem. So it's got to be exact.
Yeah.
Now
it's hard.
It's kind of like a nice range, but then I thought, okay, there's other ways I could go about it. And you could do the score bands. You could do Kansas City, Philadelphia score bands. So if Kansas City wins and they score 30 to 40, I get plus 360 on that, which I kind of like that a little more. You're kind of throwing it out there like, okay, they have to score 30. So you could also do correlated bets alongside that. That's why I'm going with Patrick Mahomes over, thinking that they'll be scoring a lot of points, which then you kind of put it into there. So that's what I'm thinking about. I like the bands because you could do 21 to 29. I'm doing 31 to 40, stuff like that, and kind of get some sort of good odds on that. And that one is giving me plus 360. So I like that one. Probably won't be in the contest that we're going to be doing, but I got to go a little more than that. What do you think of that?
It's a high scoring outcome, and I want to bet the over. I want it to be high scoring. And then you look at the two teams and you say, wait, the Eagles' defensive line has been harassing people all season. They literally knocked out 2 quarterbacks from the game. Their defensive line is legit. You look on the other side of the ball. Chris Jones is a one-man wrecking ball. Will the Eagles have a plan for him? Yes. Will the Chiefs defense also have a plan to move him around and get him in one-on-ones? Yes, because Chris Jones was a wrecking ball against Burrow. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs had 3 sacks in the first quarter. I actually think it'll be more low scoring than high scoring, even though I want to believe it's going to be the over. I was thinking of picking a side and parlaying it with the under, actually. The under is up to like 49.5, which is even bigger than like Bengals, Bills, 2 kind of offensive teams that we've seen so far. The other thing that you mentioned, the Goddard first touchdown, I actually hate it. So I want you to bet it because the Eagles, Mike, they led the league in rushing touchdowns. Not only did they lead the league, they had more. They like broke the record of the Yellow Jackets. Who the hell are the Yellow Jackets from 1924? But they beat their record for rushing touchdowns in a season. All their touchdowns last week were rushing. It just seems like they want to run the ball in the red zone.
We were watching that game, and like, how many times did they do QB sneak?
Like second down, third down.
Just like, we'll just do a QB sneak, like no big deal.
And it
like,
works.
So you could also bet some of the running ones, but I feel like they know that they're gonna run, and I want this to be, you got 2 weeks to strategize. You know what they do. Can we stop what they do and make them throw the ball? And that's what I want to see.
I like that. And Jalen Hurts did not throw the ball well last week. He really didn't. He was off throwing the ball. He was kind of in the pocket. Yeah. We're not sure he's completely healthy. He didn't run much. He ran. Apparently, I saw this theory. You'll love this. It's a conspiracy theory. He had this one drive late in the game. It was like 28-7. They were already going to win. Yeah. And he had this one series where he ran like 5 times in a row, or 5 out of 6 plays. Some people think that was the Eagles putting the runs on tape, so the Chiefs think about quarterback runs, even though Jalen Hurts is not healthy to actually run. And so there's this little gameplay going on at all times like that.
I like that one. All right, just got a few more. Will there be an overtime? It's plus 1,100, 11 to 1 odds.
It's good for you, and we want that. We want an overtime. Right?
Will there be a safety? Plus
you love that one.
9 to 1. I mean, you just got to bet it.
Didn't the recent Super Bowl, there was a snap, was it over Peyton Manning's head for the Broncos?
That was the Broncos. Actually, when do you think the last time there was
I feel like it happens. It would only be a few years ago. I feel like it does happen from year to year.
I feel like it goes every other year, right? Like every.
And it didn't happen in the Rams-Bengals game. I don't think it happened. It was like a clean final.
The second quarter of Super Bowl, Bills. No, when. Bills records for safety in football. No, I don't want that. Super Bowl.
Most recent Super Bowl safety.
Yeah. I think it was just Seahawks. I think it was just the Seahawks game. So odds should be a little more, little better than that. Because that was the first play of the game, right? Will there be a safety on the first play of the game?
Yeah. Well, you could win the whole contest on that too. It is limiting how in our contest you can only do 8 bets, but for those listening, you can lose many more than 8. You can lose as many as you want on all the props. There's also squares going around. We got hit up today on. I think we're 11 days out from the Super Bowl, but squares are already going fast. There's a lot of factors for it when it comes to Super Bowl betting.
Real quick, over on Hurts interceptions, it's just a half. So all he has to do is throw 1, and it's plus 120 on him throwing an interception. I like that one. This one I'm not going to do, but it's like 10,000 to 1. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown.
Only the Bills do that, so they're not here.
Travis Kelce for Super Bowl MVP. That's plus 1,000.
That's an easy one. Yeah, I might be on that. I'll definitely be on some Kelce bets. He's a beast.
Yeah. Any player to return a punt or kickoff for a touchdown, plus 1,400. So 14 to 1. Do you like that one? There's like more, better odds. Anybody to return one the whole game.
Sure. I mean, that could happen.
And that's it. That's all my props. I have to narrow it down to 8 and win $5,000 this weekend. So
is 5,000 your number to get there?
5,000 is where I want to be. Yeah.
You think that's where we have to get to win? Because I'm not close to that.
No, I honestly, I think it's probably going to be like 2,500 that's going to win it, because I think a lot of people are going to go. I think a lot of people are going to go all in, because you should. It's the last week.
Should. Yeah.
Everybody should be all in. So that means a lot of people will crap out in the contest. So honestly, it could just be a safe bet too. Like I could just double up and be sitting at $1,700 and also win it if I predicted it correctly.
That's like taking it out of your hands. I like how you're taking it in your hands. Like I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to hit one of these. I'm going to go to 4,000 or 5,000. I like where you're talking. And we have different strategies because I don't have to be that aggressive. I was aggressive last week. We talked about it because I was down where you were last week and I hit a lot of my aggressive bets.
Yeah, I'm not too far off. Like that's the thing. It's like
$700 off.
But it's not that much in the scheme of like where you're going to bet. Because if you're betting safe, I only have to do one crazy bet for like $200 that could put me in the green. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So we need an official prediction too before you get on the plane. Who's going to win the game?
I think Kansas City's going to win. Now,
Really?
I've seen all these. Listen, I'm on that conspiracy theory Twitter where that guy's predicted every single Super Bowl winner for the last 5 years.
Did he take Eagles?
He did take the Eagles.
Oh, God damn it.
I think Kelsey and Mahomes are a better duo. They've been there before. Mahomes is like the next generation of amazing talent coming in. And I don't know if Hurts deserves to win it yet. I don't think I've seen a lot from him. That last game wasn't a good game.
The one before it wasn't either. Like Danny Dimes was no contest. Like they haven't been tested yet. And that's why I mentioned to you and mutual friend is like they're heading into the Super Bowl and they haven't really been tested all year. And that's a weird thing because the Chiefs are very tested.
Yeah, so I'm going Kansas City. I'm not going to tell you what the score is because I'm going to put that into my exact score.
30 to 40 something, maybe 33.
Maybe
24 or something.
But I do want Mahomes to go over in passing yards, so that might mean a lot of touchdowns. But yeah, I want Kansas City. What about you?
I think the Chiefs will win. I'm not super confident in it. I love the Eagles offense. I love it, but I'm worried they're not dynamic with Jalen rushing the ball less, and his passing just seems off. It was off in that whole game. He was a pocket passer, and he was missing on everything. And I told you the story before. I was sitting at the 50-yard line of an Alabama game. Jalen Hurts is there. Nick Saban's there, the whole thing. And Alabama was number 1 at the time, and Jalen Hurts missed every throw in the game. He was terrible in college. He had to transfer to Oklahoma. We know he got kicked out for my boy, too, at Alabama. So there's a whole story here of Jalen Hurts being inaccurate throughout his career. I think in the Super Bowl, how is it that Jalen Hurts is a favorite against Patrick Mahomes? That's what's blowing my mind because Mahomes is so much better passer. He's been experienced. I know he's banged up. He's got 2 weeks now, and he played on it last week, and he was fine. He even scrambled at the end. I'm just surprised the Chiefs are underdogs. I do think it'll be Chiefs win, and the under is what I'm thinking right now. But I'm not locking anything in yet.
Not locking anything in? Okay. I'm not locking anything yet either. I keep looking at all the books and seeing what's out there. Like Gatorade color. A lot of people think it's going to be yellow-green this year. That's what I'm seeing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have to place a lot of bets before I leave. So I'm leaving tomorrow. Got to place a lot of bets.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited for us. It's a great Super Bowl. I mean, it could be much worse. We've had much worse throughout the years. I think it's great to get the powerhouse Eagles. You got Andy Reid against the Chiefs. You got the Kelsey brothers. A lot to watch for. And Mahomes has a chance to go toward Brady territory again, right? To win another one and kind of head there.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be great for him. And also, I forgot. I made some swag today. I put up the Kelsey Bowl t-shirt. Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Did you see that? I made that today. I really liked it. Some other brand made something similar. I'm like, I really like this. I'm going to make it for us. Yeah. It's up there on the website right now, the Kelsey Bowl. I thought it was fun. It's like, you don't have to pick a team. Just pick the Kelsey brothers to play each other, and you could just support whoever you want that day in gambling. You unidentified teams. It's great. It's a great sweat. I bought the sweater.
Well, we support anyone who supports podcasts, and these two have a podcast together. And so it just makes sense that we would support these two who are playing in the Super Bowl and they host a podcast.
Exactly. All right. Go check out thesportshangover.com. We'll be back after the Super Bowl. See you.